Hello there, my name is Ben and welcome back to Play the Game Central. Going to be doing something slightly different today. Going to be going back to kind of my roots. The very first commentaries I ever made on YouTube talked about issues that I felt were important at the time, and they kind of followed the news. At the time I was very interested in culture and news at the time, and I'm really not anymore. I find it very hard to believe anything that is printed and that I can't see with my eyes. I find it very hard to believe things, and so I wanted to go back to a couple of commentaries, maybe 5 or 6. We'll see how they go. If you really like these, I'll keep them coming. And today we're going to be talking about society. Now, I'd like to make this slightly interactive. If you could use the comment section and tell me if you agree with my points, if you don't, if you've enjoyed the video, and if you have any topics you'd like me to pick up on. Not questions, just topics, like put down. I think one of them will be about life. I'm not going to be doing religion because I transcend religion and it no longer is in my kind of realm because I'm far too good for that. So, but we're going to be talking about society today, and there's a lot of misconception when it comes to society, and I think politics is often thrown in, and a lot of legislation is kind of tossed around me. But I want to go back to simple society, and it's actually kind of part of our evolution, and society goes down to individual communities, and individual communities start off by two people saying hi, basically, and that goes back, you know, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years. So it's not a new thing. Society isn't anything new, and what is slightly more new are enforced norms, regulations, and I think the Romans did a lot to kind of enforce and impede upon people's ideologies, and they kind of brought morals into the forefront, and punishment is a big part of society. But there's two standard viewpoints when it comes to society, and one is the society enforces these said norms and regulations in a positive way, and they build community structure and infrastructure, societal values, and you know, economic, because that's a big part of society, obviously, economic stability. Well, a lot of places try to do that. Not sure if anyone's got it perfect yet, but it's a big part of it is the kind of money, and it is because as humans that exist in this time frame like we do, money is the way that we deal with things. Because, you know, I had a song a long time ago, and it's probably not my lyrics even, but money makes the world go round, and it does, because money is our way. It's the way that we interact with people. It's the way that we value things, but not emotionally, but, you know, it's literally the way that we value things. So of course money's going to be a big part of our societal kind of infrastructure. But that's the one more positive side that kind of adds stability, you know, the idea of family values and all that stuff. And the other side is the side that basically thinks that it's like a cage. The society enforces its own preconceptions upon a person and doesn't let that person become what they want to be. And in many respects I agree with both, and you may think, how can you agree with both, because they contradict? Well, I agree that society is a very, very good thing. I think that without society we'd descend and de-evolve into a kind of, I was going to say archaic, but almost anarchic. It just descend into anarchy. It really would, and that's not what we need. But it does give us the infrastructure. It gives us reason. It gives us value within our communities, and society does that. Whether you agree with your local society, your local community, like the politics in your local area, or the kind of religious views, or, you know, any of these things, if you agree with that or not, that's up to you. But I personally think that society is a really important thing, but at the same time, you know, the way that society's handled, it's handled by people with a vested interest. It's handled by people who people probably who came from money, who were well educated, and you'd normally agree that, you know, it should be. I'd rather Britain, for example, was run by someone well educated than someone who was plucked from some random part of the country just as some sort of charitable means. I mean, I don't agree with everything that the Conservatives basically are in Parliament right now, and I don't agree with everything they say. I really don't. I don't like many things they say. However, I understand that you know, they also do incredible work around Britain, and I don't really care who's in power, to be honest. I mean, Conservatives pretty much favour the rich people in Britain, and Labour the other main party. There's more, but Labour affects, or better support even, the kind of blue collar worker, the kind of standard worker. But at the moment, I'm not sure if anyone particularly cares about any of that. It's nothing big. I know in America right now it's a big issue, and I'm not going to comment on that because I really don't know. I'm not educated enough in that field to know about American politics. All I've heard is that Barack Obama hasn't been kind of holding up to his end of the deal, if you want to say that. But you know, I really do think that society is important, and I do think, however, that it can be a trap, it can be a cage, and it can mould and shape you into what it wants to be. And that's the problem. That's where I don't like the idea of society. I mean, if we go back a long way, none of this mattered, because it was little communities, and it was far more violent. It was anarchy. It was small kind of I was going to say Inuit, but very small cosseted villages almost. I mean, if you imagine kind of not caveman obviously, but the kind of essence, the kind of precursor to what we consider a conservative and intelligent being. First cough in the commentary, that's good. It was villagers fighting each other, and you know, they saw a new face and they attacked because they were scared. But now it's all done. The same attack is done with a handshake. You know, throwing a spear is now an email. It can be, if you think about it. It still works. I mean, some people receive the most dreadful news by email, and you know, it's now the same momentum and same engine parts, but it's fused in a different way, and it's kind of cloaked almost in a very considerate manner. And we have to realize that we are human, and you know, society is what we need for the structure that we need to live. And so I think it's a good thing. I like society. What do you think? It's just quite a short commentary. I didn't realise how short this was going to be. What do you think about society? The next one I'm going to talk about is suicide, because it's big at the moment, and I'm going to be talking about my thoughts about suicide. So thank you very much. Leave a like or comment, whatever you want, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.